Good morning, 8-Bit Nation. You're waking up today with our beautiful faces spread all the way across the world. Hope you're doing well. My goodness gracious, streaming on YouTube is not an easy thing that that I assumed it would be, that's for sure. Filters for chat for kids and all that. I'm like, yeah, we're a kind of a kid-friendly show, but that means no one can talk.
No way are we kid-friendly.
Oh,
no way.
I think the kids would love us.
I don't think so. No.
Can we just confirm in the chat as well that you're getting both myself and Ali through on the comms okay? Any issues there, let us know. So we thought we'd just have a bit of a riff, bit of a chin wag outside of our usual chin waggery before we officially hit record on the Hungry Gamers podcast, the last one for 2021. But yeah, we're here after I don't know how many years we've been talking about doing one of these. We're finally on camera.
Yeah, well, I mean, as example of a kind of the fiddling around that we had to do at the start, we are very new to this, and it's not so easy streaming. So the hesitation was justified.
Yeah, very very much so. There was a split second there where I'm like, oh my god, what have we done? What have we done?
Mistakes.
Because yeah, there's so many moving parts, and then to make matters worse, my computer's getting a bit old. So then like I had just this little skerrick of fear in the back of my head thinking, my computer's not going to be able to handle this. It's going to blow up. Oh my god, please help. But you know, OBS is a lot leaner than slobs, so it's been nice to get this thing running and know it's not taking a huge amount of it's taking 4.5% of the CPU right now, Miss Hart. That is fantastic.
Yeah. We have confirmation that we can both be heard.
Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. Hope you're all okay out there in the YouTube nation. Yeah, we don't know if this is going to be home base forever. My initial thoughts with YouTube was it would tie in nicely because we were trying to do more video content, but that's sort of on the back burner for now. So maybe we do pivot in the new year if we're going to make these things a regular thing. But Miss Hart, I don't know. We're fast and loose here.
Yeah, I mean, like we did dabble. We said YouTube, Twitch, Facebook. We weren't too sure about which one to choose. I guess this one will let us know if people preferred YouTube or maybe people prefer Twitch. It's kind of like a, bouncing beam on what people use.
Yeah,
like YouTube streaming is getting more popular now.
Yeah, I feel very bad because Miss Hart's very regimented and structured and likes to have everything planned out. And we get the plan, it's all good to go. And then like last night or the day before, I'm like, maybe we should do this on Twitch. And I could like hear Miss Hart's blood boiling from across the continent and
scream from across the world.
Yeah.
Big old F-bomb.
Yeah, but that's just me. I think you're used to my my sort of scattershot approach by now. You tolerate it at least.
It's like a yin and yang thing. Like you're like sporadic and you got the ideas out there, and I'm the person that kind of has to always take the step back and go, but and then yeah, we usually meet in the middle.
Yeah, you keep me in check. You keep me in line. But yeah, we're here. We're on camera. These are our respective 8-Bit studios, I guess you could say. This is where the magic happens.
Yeah, and as previously mentioned on what was that? Was it Festivus? Said we had it said that there was too many good beards, so I shaved.
It looks good actually. Looks really good. Skin's looking very clean, very clear, very smooth.
Yeah, so this is like I guess the first time that the Hungry Gamers have been like live and visually present doing the podcast.
Yeah.
We appear on social media every now and then we've obviously done some events for charity which were live streamed, but this will be the first time the podcast is going to be done, and it's going to be done live so everyone can kind of see the magic that that is the Hungry Gamers podcast. Yeah,
definitely. Like it's something we want to try and be more present, I guess you could say, but we also don't want to overcommit to content because trying to get all these other ideas that we've got realized is difficult, especially with time zone differences, with borders, with COVID, with just mental bandwidth. It's not the easiest, but I think all in all we've probably had our most focused year to date. I think not only from a THG perspective, but maybe an 8-bit perspective. We've sort of narrowed the focus and we've brought out probably more content in more forms of regularity than we ever have, would you say?
I think so. Consistent's a pretty good word. Yeah, I think we've done pretty well chugging along with 8-bit and all the content that came out this year. Already the cogs are turning for content in the new year.
Mm-hmm.
So we should see how everything goes in 2022.
Yeah, so we've sort of chopped a few things we were working on throughout this year, or haven't picked them up, I guess, or renewed them, I guess is the industry term, right? We didn't renew the contracts of some of these shows that we've been sort of working on here or there, but we've got a couple of new ones slated to rock up in our return in January. We haven't really got a fixed date on when we're going to come back. Maybe about a month from now-ish, give or take, middle-ish, somewhere in January. You know, we'll be back sometime in January. You think, Miss Hart?
We'll be back.
We'll be back.
We will be back.
Full stop. But yeah, it's gonna be exciting. There's some new content coming out. Some completely new podcasts that we've had on the back burner for a long time that are finally going to see the light of day, which I'm excited for. It's very different to some of our other content, so it should be cool. Should be cool.
Yeah, exciting stuff. I really have enjoyed. Actually, I've enjoyed, and I really hope everyone else that's kind of like listened in has enjoyed the end of year podcasts, the themed podcasts that we've done. So, yeah.
Yeah,
I think that this was a good way to like end off the year of the Hungry Gamers and kind of like, I guess, kind of a gift to all the poor people that have been actually requesting the live podcast, the live stream. So Merry Christmas.
Yeah, and a Happy New Year and a safe holidays and all that. I'm just like, we're not in the official podcasting right now.
Yes,
we're still just riffing. So yeah, bear with us. I'm just quickly going to send a live tweet because that's apparently what you do when you're streaming. See, where I'm very new at this.
We're also interacting with chat. So if anyone's just hanging out, want to say anything, and if they want to ask anything, now's the time to speak, because we've got this like kind of chat segment here that we're happy to chat with you guys and everything. And then we're going to record the podcast. And when we're doing the podcast recording, we're actually going to kind of ignore chat so it doesn't tarnish the experience for our audio listeners. And then once the podcast is over, then we'll come back and we'll chat with everyone that's been hanging out and chat, and we can talk about favorite things, what they thought about what we chose, and kind of have some banter at the end. So that's kind of how the structure of this live stream is going to be. So if people kind of come in when the podcast is recording and thinking we're ignoring them, anyone to kind of point out that we're just, you know, doing the podcast element.
Yeah, just grab a seat, get comfy, you know, listen to us waffle and rant and do our thing, and then we'll come back to you in the end. So I thought that way, like between us, we came up with that idea where it's just that way the content that what you're used to hearing, if you aren't watching live, you'll still get that same consistency with the episode, but there'll be some stuff before and after where you can jump in and have a chat and a riff. Pete's good afternoon, sir. But yeah, it's going to be fun. Like next year we'll do more sort of forward-facing stuff, really. Benny.
Bye, Benny.
Best of luck, my friend. Going on quite the journey, maybe the biggest adventure of Benny's life. So sending you all the love, my friend, and have a great time. Going to be fine. Enjoy the flight. Hopefully you get to have a sleep on the flight.
Known as the good time zone.
It's a confusing time zone. Is it PST? Is that what? No? What's your time zone name?
You'd think I would have learnt it by now. I think it is Pacific Standard Time.
I think
PST.
so. Yeah, but we've worked it out where you're plus 6 hours and then change it from whatever. If it's AM, it's PM, or if it's PM, it's AM. So you reverse the morning or the night and add 6, and that's you to us.
Biggest problem now is that we both experience daylight savings in our own respective countries, so that kind of muddles things up for a while.
It's so confusing.
Time is just annoying.
Yeah, one of the few things I miss about living up in Queensland was the lack of daylight savings, because I knew the time today will be the same time in several months and then several months after. But and
I knew exactly what time it would be.
But yeah, bit of inside baseball. I'm sitting on a cushion on top of the couch to just prop myself up because this couch here, she's a bit of a low rider, but I thought just to frame it, I've got a couch cushion from downstairs. Actually feels nice because I've got a bit extra cushion on my caboose. So I'm feeling comfy, feeling good.
I'm in the creaky old chair that I think we got from either Amazon or IKEA. I think it was Amazon actually. Cheap but a good one. That really hurts my butt.
Maybe you need a cushion too.
Probably. I probably need like the... Actually, I'm not going to say that. This is live. I'm not going to be caught out on some...
You can say whatever you like.
Yes, but I don't want it to come and hit me in the ass later on.
Oh, like a nice comfy cushion.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah, so, I had so many things I intended to do last night leading up to, just prep and just some finalization around the house. But I decided to binge all of season 2 of The Witcher last night.
All of it?
All of it. So I'm done. Season 2 in the can. I'm very tired. But like this door here, it's open right now, but it'll be shut when we record. I've got a big Aliens, like massive big A1 print that I've got, and I picked up frames this week, and I fully intended to have it framed, and so I can shut the door and it'll be another nice piece to sort of fill this little void right here. Mm-hmm. But I went, fuck that. I'm watching all The Witcher, and I watched all The Witcher, and I'm very tired. And then I just couldn't get up early enough to do this frame this morning, so it'll get there. To be continued.
I mean, you just said that you just watched all of The Witcher season 2, and that's it? You're not going to say whether it was good or not?
Oh, that's very true. It was very good. It was very good.
Kind of leave him hanging there.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, maybe it was bad and he doesn't want to actually say it was bad.
Tune into the podcast.
Understand.
Tune into the podcast for full details. But no spoilers. 'Cause obviously, it's only been out for 14 hours-ish now, give or take. 15 hours? I don't know. But 8 episodes, slapped them, and it was great. It was great. Now I just want season 3. I want more Miss Hart. That's the problem with binging a show, because I want more. And see, Limo wants to binge The Witcher as well, but little baby Nova taking that priority, which is fair enough. Maybe you could introduce her to The Witcher. I think she's at an age where it might not sort of sink in, but I guess there is some monsters that could scare her a little bit.
Get those wireless headphones, because usually you can have like one headphone in and then one out, and then you can kind of have the show playing in your ear and maybe in the peripheral or. That's
it. Yeah, get some ANC 300 BTs from Audio Technica, noise cancelling. So you could have the left bud in and then the right one in your pocket or something.
Yeah, I wouldn't take childcare advice from myself, to be honest.
Or me.
Just an idea. Just a good idea.
Or me. I've got 2 dogs and one of them still just pisses on everything. But yeah. I took them to the dog groomer this week.
Oh.
They loved it.
I have to ask, because I saw that you posted a very cute picture of them afterwards. Did the dog groomer buy them the ties?
Yep. So when I picked them up, they had their little ties on. They were looking very dapper. So they had a big wash, and then had an ear clean, a nail trim, all the trimmings. And then when I picked them up, they had little bow tie. I mean, little ties on. Little business ties, and they look fantastic.
It's very sweet.
Yep. So now, when we go back, I'm going to expect that same level of quality and knick-knackery. I want ties, bow ties, bandanas, scarves. I want the works. Please.
Kind of wish that whenever I went to the salon, I would get a tie or some kind of accessory.
It makes you wonder, like, did she just like bulk buy them, like 1,000 of them, and she just got them in the back, like really cheap from like Alibaba?
Alibaba?
You know Alibaba?
AliExpress?
Yeah, well, it's AliExpress these days. It used to be called Alibaba.
No.
Yeah,
really?
Yep. Back in the day, it was Alibaba.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, my dad used to be a wheeler and dealer on there years ago. The amount of things he'd buy from all over the world in bulk that's cheap or a knockoff was ridiculous.
Huh. Actually.
Yeah, Alibaba. And was it the 40 Thieves? It's like 40,000 Thieves. It's 40 Thieves?
Yeah,
you wouldn't fit 40,000 in that cave. I'm going to say 40. But no, the boys there, they're having a little snore right now. They were up last night watching The Witcher as well. But it was
Watching
good.
it.
Yeah, like Bentley watches a bit of TV, funnily enough. He enjoys sort of certain things will catch his eye, and you'll see him watching. He gets his little head tilts going, and it's pretty adorable.
My dog would only pay attention when it was there was like a squeaky noise on there.
Ah, yep.
And like full attention.
Yeah. So on the dog front, and then maybe we can start thinking about recording. I also bought them because the boys like to lay out on the back balcony I bought a heap of that fake grass just to sort of make it a little dog
More
feeling.
comfy. Yeah.
And I thought, you know what? I'll do the right thing. I'm going to go buy one of those like elevated outside day beds. You know, the ones that are sort of like a flat bed with like metal legs. Really simple, just a flat piece of fabric. I thought, you know what? I'll treat them. I'll buy that. That way they can be elevated. They can be comfy. Because on that fake grass, there could be, wee remnants. I don't know. So I bought this thing, set it up, and the second I set it up, they were jumping on it, happy days, laying on it. And since then, they haven't touched it. They still lie on the grass beside the bed. And it is so infuriating because instead of buying it from like Kmart or a shop like that, I bought it from the pet shop. So it cost me like $140 for a bit of mesh with legs. And now they're not even using it. So I'm just so salty at you pair.
It's soft enough.
It's super comfy. Maybe I need to put like a extra bit of padding on that. Yeah.
Put a pillow on it.
Yeah.
See if they want that.
Yeah. So that'll be my next purchase to add even more value to this bed. Yeah, Limo, this is my life. This is what I hear, not 24/7, but a large portion of my day and night is this. Mostly Winnie. Winnie's the loudest snorer. He's got the littler head, but his little snout's more condensed, so he gets them big deep ones going.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Miss Hart, what do you think? I will just move these doggos down. Maybe if you wanted to play, say, a fart hand jingle while I just break away for a couple of minutes.
Hit.
That was a hit.
Sure thing.
All right, I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Okay.
Come, pups.
So, for those listening or those watching right now, I'm gonna briefly run down with kind of what we will be talking about, our favorite things of the year. The whole policy is that it didn't necessarily have to come out this year. It's just something that was kind of new to us that we experienced this year that we enjoyed. So we're going to share that out with the world. So our categories are obviously favorite things we've eaten. We wouldn't be the Hungry Gamers if it wasn't about food. Favorite things we've read. So, we can be a little bit cultured sometimes, and we have read a book or two, so we're happy to share that. Favorite things we've watched. This will be TV, movies, anime because of Brendan, and then favorite things we've played because we are the Hungry Gamers, and we thought we would finish off the podcast with the gaming related stuff, and plus it's quite a lot of that there. So that's kind of how the rundown of the episode's going to go. Full disclosure, when it comes to movies, I don't have a lot. I actually don't have a lot because I am renowned for not actually watching movies. We'll binge watch a bunch of SVU, but I will not watch a 2-hour movie because I don't have time for that. But my movie backlog is pretty bad. I actually have to watch Sonic the Hedgehog before the second one comes out. There's a really good chance that I will probably have to watch the first Sonic movie just in time for the second movie to come out. And yeah, so that's essentially what the rundown is for the podcast.
You still haven't watched the first Sonic movie?
No, I haven't.
It makes me sad because you are the Sonic superfan here.
Well, what my original plan was I wanted to see the Sonic movie in that 4D cinema experience where the chair beats the shit out of you. Mm-hmm. Because I thought that would be a great way to watch it. And then just as that happened, just as we were thinking about lining that up, that's when the whole thing happened. So cinemas were closed, and then it obviously left the cinemas. And then, I don't know, something about watching movies at home, it's just such a chore for me.
It's less of a chore than going to the movies. That you're at home, you just turn it on.
you like going to the cinema like forces you out there. Like you have to go out, you have to go to the cinema, like it's just an experience. But when you're at home, you're kind of like sitting there and you're like, I could watch a movie, but I gotta sit there for a while, or I could like play a video game or watch a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, or just binge a whole season of some obscure anime that you've just scrolled across. That's my thing. I'm like,
some people.
What am I gonna watch? I don't feel like watching a movie, or I don't feel like playing a game. Let's just peek Crunchyroll or Funimation and see what's there.
Okay, yet to hit that point.
And the annoying thing now, I've watched all the fantasy on there just about, and all the shows I'm watching that are sort of simul-dub, as they call it on Funimation. I'm completely up to date on all the English episodes now. I've got to wait like several weeks at a time to get an episode with the dub instead of jumping into the sub. So, first world problems, that's for sure, Miss Hart.
Yeah, it's quite the struggle. I don't know how you watch so much anime though, because like you watch series of anime, and anime is long. Like episodes can be long. They can be dragged out because they have that stuff where they kind of always start an episode with a recap.
Yeah.
And then like it takes a long time. It's quite the investment. So
yeah, it's just you just got to commit, Miss Hart. You just jump in and then you just let them roll. Like I'll churn a season or two out a day in some shows just because they're easy to punch through. Because a lot of them now, a lot of the shows I've found that I've really liked might only have 1 or 2, maybe 3 seasons, and they're anywhere from 12, 13 episodes ish. There's some that have got the 26 episodes or some insane amount, but for the most part, you can slap out a season, which is say 12ish episodes. You can knock that out within, less than 4 hours.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
And are you a sub or dub person?
I'm a dub guy typically, just because I'll be doing other things, maybe in air quotes working. So
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why, because like I do prefer the subtitled experience, and then you really have to like give it all your attention.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
either that or learn Japanese.
Typically the voice work in the sub's always better. Like it's more emotive, even though I don't speak Japanese, but it's conveyed better compared to some of the English dubs. But there's some good dubs out there. Most of the shows I've stumbled across this year have been good.
It's gotten better. Like that's always been my issue, was that when I started watching anime way back when, the dub work wasn't really great, and it was very repetitive. You'd always hear the same voices, so you'd kind of start, getting like cross-contamination voiceover. So I just got used to subtitles.
A lot of that's still the case. It feels like there's like a half a dozen key voices. Like I can't remember their names, but like you'll hear the same distinctive voices in every other show you listen to. They're like, oh, that's All Might, and oh, that's this guy now, and oh, that's this one.
Yeah, there we go. Sub is the way.
Yeah. See, maybe I'm not a full card-carrying member of the Weeb Society yet then, because I'm a dub boy, but I'm just busy. I just got other things to do. I got to work, in air quotes, at the same time.
I have to do my job while I'm watching my anime.
Yeah, I got to get paid to pay for these subscription costs. But they are reasonably priced, especially compared to Netflix, which has just had another price rise here, Miss Hart. It's getting out of control.
Is it?
I think it's like $25 a month now.
Really?
Yeah, I know it's in the 20s. Maybe it was 22. But yeah, it's up above $20 Australian now a month for Netflix.
Like being in the US for so long, for the years now, like I think I've completely forgotten how expensive things can be in Australia. Like yes.
Yeah, it adds up. It adds up. Like I saw that funny meme floating around. It's like people complaining about Foxtel costing $120 a month or whatever, and then you combine all the streamers and it's like the same thing. I'm like, well, you got me there, internet. You got me there. And Lima, yeah, slide into my messages and send me all the fantasy recommendations, because the well's running dry for me, and preferably in dub. That's my main caveat. I want some dubs. Miss Hart, what do you reckon? Shall we?
He doesn't want anything to do with it.
Yeah, I'm trying to read like spec sheets for work at the same time, so having to try and juggle that and then an anime, just not good. Yeah, 23 for premium. There you go. for
Is
Netflix.
premium at least like ad free? Well, no, Netflix should be ad free.
Premium's the 4K. I think it's 5 concurrents. I think that's the premium. 4K streams and 5 concurrents. I think that's the premium pack. But yeah, 23 bones. And then you got Stan, which I have. Then I've got Amazon Prime, which I have. Then I've got Disney Plus. Then I've got Crunchyroll. Then I've got Funimation. Then I've got NBA TV. Then I've got NFL.
Oh, okay. Does Disney Plus in Australia bundle other stuff, or do you only get Disney Plus?
You get a few, but annoyingly... Oh, and then I've got Binge, because a lot of the things still fall under Binge, which is Foxtel.
That's quite a lot. I
Yeah.
don't even think we've got that over here. Like that many subscriptions. But then
Yeah.
again, I don't really need Funimation or Crunchyroll, so...
We just need to pool all our resources together, because a lot of these have like 5 concurrents. So you just like go in with a few other people and have one login.
It's smart to do.
Yeah, my NBA Live account, funnily enough, I signed up with that via Kenya, and it saved me absolute absurd amount of money. I got it for like a third of the price.
Okay.
Yeah. Used a VPN to say, yep, I'm a Kenyan resident, and then I bought NBA TV for pittance, which is awesome, because that's usually like $200, $250 AUD a year, I think, for NBA. Got it for under 100. Anyway, this is going to be the part where we hit pause on the bants and then hit record on our end. And I guess you can see how things go in this live environment. You can see how we do these potties. Nothing too exciting, nothing too revolutionary. Just two legends talking into a microphone. But you'll see that this is a one-cut show. We don't do stops and retakes and re-edits. We just roll from front to back, which I'm very proud of. You know, we don't have any ad breaks. We don't sort of go away and go to the bathroom unless we absolutely have to.
Well, yeah, if it's an emergency.
Yeah, but I'm good.
Sometimes we just keep a container to... no, just kidding. It's just water.
Yeah, right in there. I gotta...
Probably shouldn't have drank from it after insinuating that we pee in bottles, but...
Have you ever peed in a bottle?
Hell no.
I have, a few times. Powerade bottles. Yep.
It's just harder. You know what? No, I'm not. I'm not getting
Yeah.
into it.
Like stuck in traffic a few times. Busting, and I had a Powerade bottle and sort of managed to jimmy it and crack it, and like the Powerade bottle was empty. I drank it like that day. But yeah, stuck in traffic, couldn't get home, couldn't turn anywhere. So yeah, drop a sneaky whiz in peak hour traffic in Sydney a few times.
Very special live stream, everyone.
Yeah. But then the paranoia sets in, because you're busting. You go, am I going to fill this bottle? Then do I have to crack it off? And then I'm going to be in more pain because I'm half emptied now. But no, luckily that hasn't happened yet. Maybe my bladder's only like 600 mil. I don't know.
Science.
Science indeed. Okay. All right. Let's 3, 2, 1 countdown this sucker. Mm-hmm. Get your Powerade bottles ready, listeners. All right. 3, 2, 1. Record.
Clicked.
Round 1. Fight.
Heroes never die.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in the knee.
Power, sex, power. They both come down to one thing. Hungry gamers.
Hello, and welcome, boys and girls, to the 268th episode of the Hungry Gamers podcast. We are powered by 8bit.net and those sexy legends over at Audio Technica. And I'm your extremely humble host, Brendan White. You can find me just about everywhere at Brendan 8bit. And joining me today, my podcast ride or die, the last podcaster that will be sharing the mic with me for 2021. Actually, I lied, because we've decided we're going to do a spoiler cast for Spider-Man before the year breaks.
What?
But my favourite podcaster that I share the mics with, you can find her on the socials at Miss Ellie Hart. Miss Ellie Hart, how the bloody hell are you?
emotional roller coaster right there. It started off with the best,
Well,
But I'm happy. I'm happy to be here for the last one.
I wasn't implying that you weren't the best, but it was like when I said the last for the year, I didn't want to lie. And then you see a Spider-Man spoiler cast come out and you go, you know what, you son of a bitch. You said I was the last. And now you're out there talking about Spider-Man and all the insanity with No Way Home. You've lied to me. You've betrayed my trust.
Man, I tell you what, I am sweating bullets with Spider-Man. I still won't be seeing it for a few more days. And y'all on the internet need to simmer down. I don't care how clever you think you are. Your ambiguous posts aren't as creative as you think, right? Like,
It makes my blood boil, Miss Hart. Like, I've watched it, so I don't have to try and dodge these spoilers like Webb. But, yeah, it really frustrates me when you see these people where they try and be the smartest person on the internet and they're like, oh, imply this. And you're like, come on, just say, I liked the movie. It was great. Broad stroke stuff, non-spoiler, because there's some big things in this movie that you don't want to ruin for everybody. Just be better.
yeah. Find a group chat, go to a Discord, something like that, and discuss your ideas out there. It's just this constant need of being the first or the most recent person to kind of say that you've seen something.
Yeah, settle that. We don't care about your edgelordness, you know. You don't need to be the coolest person on the internet because you're dropping subtle hints for spoilers. Like, don't ruin things for other people. Just be happy you watched it and be happy you hopefully enjoyed it as much as I have, and hopefully Miss Ali Hart does too in the coming days.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. But yes, 8-Bit Nation, we are here. This is the last official Hungry Gamers episode for 2021. And we thought we'd ring out the year in style. We're going to be talking about our favourite things of 2021. And the caveat for this is the favourite things that Ali or I have experienced for the first time in 2021. So if you start hearing some things that we've played or read or watched or eaten and you're like, oh, that's been around for years. We're not getting into the nitty gritty like that. It's the first time we've tried it in this past calendar year. So this is first for us. So it might be old for you, but it's exciting for Ali or myself. So, don't break our stride. We've got to keep on moving here. As Ace of Base, I think, sung that song.
Ain't Nothing Gonna Break My Stride.
No, I've ruined it.
I don't know who sang that song.
I've besmirched the good name of Ace of Base.
Yeah. If you saw the sign, then you was,
Yeah, I just got to open up my eyes.
It was another baby.
God. I can't remember the next line. Is it no time tomorrow or it's gone tomorrow?
She'll be gone tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. And then, whoa, I just remember that part. And then the
Nailed it.
absolute banger of a track. Apologies to Ace of Base for just ruining your fantastic 90s hits and also confusing you with another 90s hit, I can imagine. But anyway, we're here. We're talking about the favourite things in our respective lives that we've encountered for the first time in 2021. And you know what? We are the hungry gamers after all, Miss Hart. So maybe we should start about the favourite things that we've eaten or consumed in 2021 for the first time. So Miss Hart, did you want to start us off?
Yeah. So I've had living in America, their big thing that they love to enjoy is barbecue. And I've had to explain to a few people that barbecue in Australia is a different thing and a more regular concept. But over here, it seems like barbecue is like a kind of more of a special occasion, a very, extravagant affair. And I've tried a bit of barbecue here and there, and it's been fine. Like, there's a lot of I don't like when charcoaled, like when people really charcoal food. I really hate that taste. But this year, by pure luck, tried out a place in the area, and my husband told me about burnt ends, and I'm like, that sounds terrible. Sounds like the worst thing ever. Anyway, tried it. Oh my goodness. It is like the best part of a Sunday roast when you get the cooked, fatty, meaty part at the end. And this place serves it in abundance, and it's classified as the offcuts. So burnt ends is like my new favorite thing. It is crazy.
When they're done right, they're just about one of the best things you could put in your mouth. Full stop. End of the episode.
Yep.
But no, seriously, they're great and they're really hard to perfect. as Miss Hart said, it's sort of the edgings or the offcuts of like a brisket. You usually sort of, once the brisket's done, you can sort of cook these beyond to make them nice, crunchy, but also like gooey, tender on the inside, just edible bites of amazingness. And as an amateur barbecuer myself, it is tough to perfect. I haven't perfected burnt ends. I can make them okay, but when you go to a place that knows what they're doing and nails it, it is ridiculously tasty.
Yeah. And like with the sauce that goes with it as well, it's just amazing. I never thought that I would like really get into barbecue, because I always thought people were kind of, you know, maybe like overhyping it a little bit, but no, the hype is justified, obviously, when done right. So burnt ends is one of my favorite things that I've eaten. And the second thing that is one of my favorite things that I've eaten, which is very recent, it also coincided with the very good event of a very gamer game being released. Halo came out. They were doing like very specific, Halo and Call of Duty, came out. And, you know, with these games were specific codes, like you buy this product, get codes and everything. And I believe with Call of Duty, it was Doritos. I hate corn chips. I really don't like corn chips. I don't like Doritos unless it had melted cheese on top of it. But then a purchase of Cool Ranch Doritos was made. Like, all right, I'll try it. You know, I doubt I'll like it. Seems like a good majority of the gaming sphere love it, but I'll try it. I really like them. They're really, really good. They remind me of pizza shapes.
Yeah, they've got a bit of taste to that, and they sort of almost taste refreshing to me, like, because they've got that ranch. You don't get a massive ranch hit, but it's got just this softer, smoother taste for a corn chip, and you can just smack a pack in no time at all. And I'm still so surprised that you don't like corn chips. That's like,
I really don't.
Like that's up there. Like when I say that I don't like mashed potato, like, when you say corn chips, like, I don't think I've ever met someone that, like, if we went to a Mexican restaurant, they had like guac and some corn chips, you wouldn't go at it because you don't like the chips?
Well, it depends on the chips. Like, now that I've had really good like chips over here with guac, I wouldn't go and pick it up and then eat it as is. Like I said, with Doritos, if you melted some cheese on it and then, you know, had a side of guac, then I'd eat them. But just people who just ate them as is, I couldn't understand it. I thought it was the worst. You
need some type of connective substance to these chips. You need a dip or a salsa or a guac, but you couldn't just smack a packet of CC's or...
salsa.
You don't like salsa? No. Wow. The things you learn even after all these years, listeners, my goodness. And here I am getting beaten up on the streets verbally about mashed potato all the time. And we've got the corn chip salsa assassin over here that is just killing me today.
You're telling someone with an Irish bloodline that you don't like mashed potatoes.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
You got to expect it. You've had people out there that have been in your side of the ring. So, but I mean, discourse from the Irish.
That's true. I'm spitting on the good name of the potato. Your family's there shaking fists angrily at me, but two very good things. Yeah, I would recommend trying to hunt down some Cool Ranch Doritos if you can. They're not usually here in Australia in the Coles and the Woolies and such. Sometimes IGA does, but if you see one of those like Americana snack hubs that are around where they put like prices up by 5,000%, usually you'll find some Cool Ranch in there beside a box of Lucky Charms that are like $15. You'll find some Cool Ranch Doritos. But yeah, they're well worth seeking out because they are a nice, delicious chip. And I do get the pizza shape comp as far as that texture. Oh, not texture, but the taste.
And it even has like the little colored green and red sprinkles on it too. So.
Yum. Now I want Doritos.
What about you? What are your favorite things that you consumed this year?
Well, I eat many things all the time, so I had to try and narrow this down to things that I haven't tried, and I thought I'd focus in. Like anyone that's been listening the last few months knows that I've embarked on a big old life change in the last quarter of 2021, where I've packed up my stuff, grabbed the dogs, and skipped south. Went from Queensland down to Victoria, and now I'm a resident of Melbourne, out of lockdown for now. Touch wood that stays the same with this new Transformer variant. But you know what? I'm down here in Melbourne. I'm settled, and I've been just trying to explore and find new food haunts. Like, I pride myself on my food knowledge and knowing all the good places to recommend. So I've just been dabbling God, that's going to make me sound so bad, but when I first moved down, every couple of days I was trying something new, and like, that's not a healthy way to live, people. Moderation is key, but there was none of that when I first moved down. But luckily, where I am, I'm in Coburg, it's about 8 k's out of the city. So I've got this massive big blanket. We're sort of like northeast of the city, you could say, or maybe straight north. I don't know. I'm terrible with geography. But I'm in this 8k radius. In that hub, that encompasses like Brunswick, which is pub, bar, restaurant, cafe central. So everything from there delivers. So I've just been sort of going through this hit list one by one. And one of the first things I tried was a place called 300 Grams. And it's a burger joint. Literally found out that it's like 1 kilometer up the road. So now I just go up and pick it up. It's deadly. But they do super simple burgers, smash patty style. So nice thin meat patties, really fresh, simple ingredients. They do like a cheeseburger, a beef and bacon burger, a chicken burger, and then like a fish burger, and then chips and stuff like that. But they're so tasty, they're so fresh, and they do a Biscoff shake. Like Biscoff, I don't know if it's the same with you in America, Miss Hart, but Biscoff is just like shot to the moon here in Australia the last 12 months. Like no one knew what it was, and now it's just in everything. Biscoff shakes, Biscoff cakes, Biscoff slices. I doubt even half the people buy the Biscoff biscuits themselves or the spread. I've got the spread in the cupboard. I've got a smooth and a crunchy Biscoff.
That's dangerous.
Oh yeah, I just get a spoon just in case. I don't put it on anything. I just put it on a spoon into my mouth, and it is so good. But 300 grams is just simple, old-fashioned good burgers, and it's so delicious. And the fact it's up the road, it's bad news, but good news. Yeah, so that's my first food rec as far as favourite things I've eaten for the first time in 2021. The other one that I wanted to shout out is a place called Fat, which is fried and tasty. It's in Brunswick. And they do, chicken burgers, fried chicken, all the other sides. And it's just a hell of a time. Picture like KFC on steroids, really, as far as the food. Like anyone that's been... Did you ever go to Clem's Chicken in Sydney, Miss Hart, in Newtown?
I don't think so. It doesn't ring a bell.
It's got that southern fried taste. So if you've had southern fried chicken, it's got that vibe to it, but it's just delicious. The burgers are great. The sides are delicious. The gravy, it's like that proper homemade gravy, nice and thick and flavoursome and cloudy.
Yeah.
But it's so good. Another one this one's about 3 k's from my house. So I can drive there, or I just get it delivered when I'm being lazy. And the last one I wanted to shout out as far as favourite things I've eaten is a random little donut truck that I stumbled across in Brunswick when I was trying to get my iPhone 13 during lockdown, which was a whole nother debacle. But it's called Barclays Hot Jam Donuts. Tiny little unassuming little white caravan-y box thing just out the front of the mall. All they do is jam donuts, but they are probably the best jam donut I think I've ever had in my entire life.
Wow. You are like quite the donut connoisseur as well. So that's a big so they serve donuts out of a caravan. Yeah.
So it might be like, you could say more it's maybe like one of those demountable sheds. Like it's just a little box.
Okay.
They've got their little deep fryers in there. It's a tiny little thing. Like you'd fit maybe 3 people in it at most. But
big insurance.
Yeah, but all they do, it's good to know. If I ever need to get a caravan, I know that I've got to be prepared for insurance costs.
Useless facts from previous work. Sorry, carry on.
It's beneficial. You need to be aware of these things. Anyone that wants to get into the food truck world, they need to know that there is premiums for these things. So maybe reach out to Miss Hardy if you need some more advice on that, or don't. But Barclays Hot Jam Donuts. These things, they're like palm of your hand size, little fluffy clouds with like homemade strawberry jam in them. Perfect amount of icing sugar over the top. Cooked hot and fresh in front of you, so you're never getting ones that have been sitting there from the morning. And they're so cheap. To get a baker's dozen, it's $9.
Okay.
Which in
And
like in
considering
America,
you're
that's
saying-
probably par for the course or a bit overpriced. But here in Australia, you know, everything is ridiculous. Like to get 4 pink glazed ice rings from Donut King, for example, that is $16. But to get a baker's dozen of these little jammies, $9, and it's just the best. And I'm gonna go there over the weekend because I got to go to Kmart, which is where this little hub is. So I'm gonna get another little box of these and be very happy.
Man, donuts are like one of those things where it's like on any occasion, I don't want a donut. But the second donut is mentioned, like a donut is mentioned, or you kind of see one, that's when it triggers. That's when you're like, I have to have a donut. Now I really, really want a donut.
Maybe you could get some donuts this weekend too.
Maybe I could.
Maybe. Pink glazed or jam. I don't want ones where there's like 16 Snickers bars stacked on top. I don't want these
Yes.
big ones that everyone does
I
these
hate
days.
those.
Piss off
I
with
hate
that.
those. Yeah, just keep it simple with your maple.
Yeah. Just simple is better. The KISS method, people. For most things in life. Keep it simple, stupid. All right, so that's the things we've eaten or consumed this year for a first time. Miss Hart, maybe we'll jump into favourite things we've read, because we've read some books this year.
Yeah, we actually read some books. It was it's new for me. I really don't read normally. I always found it quite time wasting. Movies and books, I find time wasting. That's hilarious. Very uncultured. But lucky for me, I found like a whole category of things that I actually do enjoy reading, and lo and behold, it's really screwed up things. So the first book I'm going to recommend is Tender is the Flesh by Augustina Bazterrisia. It's a book set in a kind of dystopian, I believe it's like a future where we no longer can consume animals because there was like a virus bacterial thing. So society has set the normality of eating humans. But the whole book is kind of going through the experience of like the consumption of humans, and like the main character that you follow kind of like works in the abattoir where humans are turned into meat kind of thing.
Wow,
And
okay.
there's this whole underlining story as well where like, you know, it's like a morality thing and kind of experiencing it from this person's angle and his struggles and everything like that. Great twist at the end. It definitely caught me. I actually really enjoyed it. I thought the message was really well conveyed, and I think the person who wrote the book really set up that really screwed up scenario very well. So I actually really enjoyed that one. So that one's called Tender is the Flesh. And my second book is called Wounds, 6 Stories from the Border of Hell, done by Nathan Pellegrin.
I sense some themes here, some consistencies across these books.
They're very interesting.
Luckily,
but
we
Wounds-
don't have this episode set as kid-friendly, that's for sure, because they not be sleeping tonight hearing about these books.
You gotta learn sometime. Wounds is like, as it said, 6 stories, and they're all kind of like got like a like sort of link to like hell and hellish landscapes and hellish creatures and everything like that. It was actually a really good read. There were some stories that stood out more than others, but overall, just like going through the book, it was actually really enjoyable. I wouldn't necessarily say it was scary, but there was some good kind of like horror-ish kind of elements to it. Maybe it would be scary. Maybe I'm desensitized, but I did enjoy that book. It was a good read.
Do you think Tender is the Flesh will ever get adapted to the screen? Do you think it would? Like, it sounds like the themes that it goes into, and probably some of the very horrific imagery.
They would have to dumb it down. Like, I'm trying to think what's the most like gruesome movie that I've ever seen, and saying that it's worse. Like, I'm thinking like remember when we talked about Hostel and how graphic that was at times? Like, this would have to be more graphic. Actually, I don't think they could. They would have to take a lot out of there because there is some pretty disturbing things in there.
Yeah, but people love that stuff too. There might be a producer or writer or director out there that wants to tackle this thing and bring it to the screen and just make people feel very uncomfortable and very disgusted and very sick.
I don't think they should. But a good book.
Yeah, if you do want to watch some modern day cannibalism, check out Raw. If you want a good horror film to do with eating people, that is really well done. There's some things in there that will leave you feeling very uncomfortable. But yeah, I've read a fair few books this year, but I just wanted to highlight the one book, or the series, I guess you could say, that sort of impacted me in the most way, and that's the Kinkila Chronicle. So it's part of a trilogy by Patrick Rothfuss, who has released the first two books, which is The Name of the Wind and then The Wise Man's Fear in 2007 and then 2011. The Doors of Stone is the third book. There's still no date on this as to when it's coming out. It's very much TBD as far as just wait and see and hope for the best. And yeah, it's really good. It's a fantasy trilogy. It's got that high fantasy vibe set in this present day, not on Earth. It's an alternate sort of Earth-esque type of place where you're thrown into the life of a man named Koth, and he's sort of just this sort of magic wielding, just mythological dude. Like he's grown up and had so many stories and so many things happen to this young fellow that he's become this myth, this larger than life character, but then he sort of just faded away into this simple life as an innkeeper. So there's sort of like this scribe and him working together to retell his story as how he became, in air quotes, the king killer. And what happened in there as far as where he was a wandering musician, notorious arcanist, or a wizard if you want to call him that. And it just weaves in all these characters and these stories and these worlds that Quoth was part of. And it's just so well done. And Patrick Rothfuss, the way he writes books, it's almost poetic as far as how he describes things and explains characters and the dialogue that they have between each other. Like, it's a very accessible trilogy, well, 2/3 of the trilogy to get into, but it's just overflowing with great characters and great stories, and the stakes keep getting raised, and just trying to work out how this man came to be is so great, and I cannot wait for the third. He did just sneak a release of the prologue for Doors of Stone out this past week. So I'm excited, but I just want that third book, because I smashed these two books back to back in the space of about a week and a bit. A lot of pages.
They're big books, yeah.
They're very, very thick books, but it just sunk its hooks into me. It's one of those things where I'm just like, I need it all. I need to know everything about this world. I want it all now, and I just smashed it through. So I'm hoping that Mr. Rothfuss doesn't keep us waiting for too long, and we can get into that third, I guess, an asterisk final book, because there has been rumors where he's like, I could make this like a larger story. You could pad this out to a fourth book. So it's like, but I just want more of the Kinkila Chronicle by Patrick Rothfuss as far as things I've read. Plenty of other things, but that franchise or that series stood out well above everything else. So that's my rec there. Maybe we'll start moving into things that we've watched this year, Miss Hart. So what is on your list of favourite things of 2021 that you have watched for the first time?
Spoilers, not a lot of movies.
No one is surprised about that.
You want to hear, so the only movie that I really have that I actually enjoyed, that I kind of watched this year, that came to mind was I actually watched Apocalypse Now for the first time, and it was some special edition, kind of enhanced edition or something like that. So it actually was kind of zhuzhed up, and I've heard references to it enough, so I kind of understood a lot of points of it. But this was the first time watching, and it's actually really good. I understand why it's kind of why it's held such a high esteem in the cinema world, and just how screwed up some of these characters are, and the overall theatrics of especially the explosions and destruction and stuff like that, and the artistic camera work as well that was kind of set up. So I kind of get that. And low-key Suicide Squad, but I'm assuming we're both probably going to talk about
that's on my list too. We could tackle that together now if you wanted, or later, whatever. We're fast and loose around here today.
Suicide Squad was the one movie that I knew I had to make time for, because there was a lot riding on it for me, being a DC villain fan. It was a big one, and also being a person that doesn't necessarily poo-poo the other Suicide Squad movie. So I was looking forward to watching this one, got to watch this one at home, And yeah, it lived up to the expectation. It was really good. I was really happy with that one.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I'll sort of just quickly jump in on the back of that with my Suicide Squad thoughts. And yeah, I feel it righted all the wrongs from that first Suicide Squad. I know you're a bit of a apologist for it. You're a bit of a fan of the original.
It's not terrible. It's watchable.
Yeah, but that's a low bar.
It's an action.
What is it
It's
like?
an action film.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I guess. Maybe I'm a bit too harsh on it right now, but just seeing where the first Suicide Squad was and how the Suicide Squad came to be, and James Gunn just doing James Gunn things with this fantastic cast, these fantastic characters that are all realised and given adequate screen time. Asterisks on that, because obviously things happen fairly swiftly in that movie, but it's really, really good. Like, the 8-Bit Nation agrees it did win our Movie of the Year award in the 2021 biddies. And yeah, it's up there for me. It's one of the best movies that I've seen in 2021. And I'm excited for Peacemaker coming out in middle of January. And maybe Suicide Squad 2, or just more offshoots for some of these other anti-heroes or former villains or pure villains, whatever you want to classify them as. I'm excited to see more of this world, and I just hope that James Gunn's DNA stays throughout, because I really love what he put on screen.
Yeah, I agree. That's my biggest concern, is that we don't venture too far away now from that, because you know how Hollywood, they get really horny when things go well, and then they just start making offshoots, and it just gets really, really bad. TV wise, I never hear anyone else talk about this show, but F is for Family, their final season happened this year, and it was a great way to finish off the show. It's very underrated. Bill Burr, who's the comedian, it's his show. He voices the main character, and it's like a family sitcom, but it's just like, it's really harsh. Like, it's Bill Burr, so there's like a lot of swearing and they really cancel out those happy family moments. It's not like Family Guy. It's not like, like that sort of thing. It's kind of more along the sitcom route, but just really fucked up. So if anyone has a chance to watch F is for Family, give it a go. You might enjoy it. The other one I watched was Eastbound and Down. I kind of mentioned this on the podcast already. I had no interest in this show. It actually looked stupid to me, but lo and behold, it fucking got its hooks into me, and I was there like hoping for Kenny Powers to succeed in the end, even though he is a horrible person. Narcos Mexico. That's great. I haven't watched any of the other Narcos, but watched the Mexican one, and it's actually really, really good. And it really helps having someone nearby that's able to explain it all, and like locations and everything. So I guess I get that extra beneficial experience. Schmigadoon, which was the Apple TV series, which is a joke on kind of musicals. That was quite surprising, and I enjoyed that, but I do enjoy a good musical. Crime Scene Kitchen, which I got you to watch as well.
Damn straight.
Stupid fun cooking show. Always love a good cooking show, and then that one just took it to a weird angle, and thanks to John McHale, it worked. It
really
palatable.
did. Like we've gushed about Crime Scene Kitchen on many an episode now, and yeah, it's on my list as far as favorite things of the year. It was just unexpected to blend the worlds of a competitive cooking or baking show with the insanity of a CSI. You think, how's this going to work? But it does, and it does really well, and I hope we get a second season.
Yeah, and then to kind of also jump onto that as well, there was also a show from Netflix called Bake Squad, and that was also great. Another cooking show, but it's less competitive in the sense that it's just 4 chefs making a dessert for a one-person special event, and there's no competitiveness to it, and if it is, it's all just a joke. So I do enjoy a good show where the competitive nature is taken out of it. I mean, the British baking show,
Great British Bake Off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, it has to be called the British Baking Show now,
Oh, really?
or something like that. Yeah, they had to change the name.
Oh, God. See, I'm not up to date on the later seasons, but
Just finished the last one.
do love it. Do love me some Bake Off. Some of the hosts that they have on various seasons, I love a little less than others, but yeah, it's great. It's great. I'm a sucker for a good baking show.
Same.
Mm.
It's literally food porn.
It really is. It really is. And speaking of food porn, I'll be getting into that shortly. But maybe I'll start with my TV stuff to just sort of jump on the back of that there. And I wanted to first shout out Arcane, which obviously only just came out a couple of weeks ago on Netflix. Absolutely adored it. I'm not going to dwell too much on it. We do have a spoiler cast available right here on the Hungry Gamers RSS feed, so go give that a listen after you're done checking out this episode if you haven't already. Spoiler free for I think the first 50 minutes. Then after that we go full spoilers, Nato and myself. But Arcane, one of the best animated shows that I've seen in years. Just loved the cast, loved the story, loved the voice acting. Love that animation style and the soundtrack that came on the back of that too. Fantastic television. I've bundled all the Marvel Disney Plus shows together as far as favorite things I've watched. Like, it started, obviously we got WandaVision, then it was followed by Captain America and the Winter Soldier, or Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I don't know if I just gave away some spoilers there, sorry. And then also Loki, and now Hawkeye. We've got the finale coming next week for Hawkeye, and boy howdy am I excited for these universes to continue to be built out, whether it be future seasons or through future films. Episode 5 of Hawkeye that dropped this week has just been part of this delicious, tasty dessert sundae that I've been consuming for the better part of 7 days now. Like, it started last week when I got to watch Ghostbusters Afterlife. And then this week, not only getting episode 5 of Hawkeye, which was brilliant, but also then Spider-Man No Way Home. And then The Witcher Season 2, all within a calendar of 7 days, has just got me so overstimulated, it is not funny.
Resident Evil didn't sit in the palace.
Oh, yeah, that's like, that's the bite that I sort of didn't enjoy. Maybe there was like a bit of popsicle stick in that bite or something. I'm like, oh yeah, that's that, which makes me sad. But going back to Ain't Nothing Gonna Break My Stride, that did not break my stride this week, because all these other good things outweighed that very average Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City movie. And The Witcher Season 2 only dropped last night, but I've binged the whole second season, and it's more Witcher, I guess, which is I don't know if it's the best way to describe it, but if you enjoyed season 1, I think you're going to enjoy and then some season 2. The storyline is a little less convoluted. Like in the first one, there was a lot of time jumps. They were sort of jumping past, present, future type of thing a lot, which could be a little confusing for people that maybe hadn't watched the games or read the books. Where season 2 is a little bit more of a linear path, less flashbackies and things, which is great. And the cast is phenomenal. Where they take it and where they go with some of the stories that they showcase on the screen is awesome. And I'm so hyped, but now I'm also sad because I'm like, now I've got nothing to watch. I don't have any more Witcher to watch now until, I don't know, 2024. I don't know, which makes me sad.
It's going to be a while.
Yeah, but it's really, really good. So do yourselves a favor and check that out on Netflix. As far as movies, I touched on 2 of those there, or spoke about the Suicide Squad, but yeah, Spider-Man No Way Home, I think it's my favorite movie I've watched all year. It is so good. Not going to go into spoilers. I'm not going to get clever and imply anything or, try and be too smart and give away things without giving away things, but the casting's awesome, the writing's great, the pacing's fantastic, there's heart, there's humor, there's action, it's just a good movie in every sense of the word. And even though it goes for over 2 hours, it doesn't feel long. It's like, it's got a good pace, and I just love everything about it. And I cannot wait to talk to more people about this movie once they've watched it, because it's very, very special.
I am looking forward to it. It's had such a good, everyone's said amazing things about it. So I am looking forward to watching this one. Should be good.
Yeah, yep. And something else that was good that I touched on a second ago, Ghostbusters Afterlife. Yeah. As a Ghostbusters tragic who grew up with the movies and the games and the toys and the animated show and the obsession to actually want to rename myself Peter Venkman as a kid. My mum never let me, which I'm still probably a little salty about to this day. Maybe I can do it now. I can legally change my name to Peter.
You could, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know, Bill Murray is his own thing. Not many people can do what Bill Murray does. But anyway, Ghostbusters Afterlife is in that similar discussion that I just had with Spider-Man, where it's just fun, it's enjoyable, there's heart, there's a lot of touchstones to the original 2 movies, and the casting's great. I really like everything about this movie, and I'm excited if they do decide to try and expand this universe with these characters they've introduced us to. I'm excited to watch more of that. But if this is like a one and done, I'm even more happy, because it was just so it was handled with so much care. Like the source material and the characters, and it was just very respectful and very endearing and just really emotional. And I was just smiling from ear to ear with both Ghostbusters and Spider-Man. Like, it felt like I was transported back to being a kid, and it was just so fun and so great, and phenomenal films. And the last one I'll quickly touch on is Dune, which is now available finally around the globe. Really great, like completely different tonally to these other movies we've talked about. But Denis Villeneuve is just a sci-fi savant. Anything this man puts to screen is usually not only a work of art visually, but the storytelling is great, the casting is great, and they've done this book justice, and they've also, I guess, righted some of the wrongs from the original film adaptation from the 80s, and I just cannot wait for part 2 to see what they do, and it's just a feast. If you can go watch this on the big screen, it is very, very special. Like, it's so artistic and just stunning to see. The pacing comparative to those other movies we've been talking about, it's night and day. It's a bit more slow and a bit more dramatic and world building, because this universe is so big. But holy moly, can I not wait for Dune Part 2. I can't remember if they confirmed if it's coming out next year. If it is, I'm very happy. But if I've got to wait another year, I'll be a bit sad.
I might have to wait another year.
God damn it. God damn it.
We're used to delays by now. This is what this whole year's been building us up for. Like, thick as skin for delays.
That's true. That's true. And the last but certainly not least topic or segment I wanted to touch on as far as things I've been watching, Miss Hart, is the Brendan White, aka Peter Venkman Anime Hour, we're going to be calling it here. I'm not going to be talking about this for an hour, but I just wanted to shout out to a select few series that I've watched / discovered this year in my reintroduction to the anime world. So the first one is Beaufury, which is done by a studio called Silver Link, and it's focusing on this character named Maple. A lot of these, just about all of these shows are set in sort of that high fantasy world. I'm a big anime fantasy fiend, I've realized, and this one it follows this girl, like, so a lot of them isekai, where maybe it's a human person that's dropped into a fantasy world, but this one she's playing an MMO, and she jumps on to play with a friend, and she doesn't want to get hurt, so what she decides to do is just max out her defense. So all she does is put all her skill points every time she levels into the defensive skill tree, and she becomes pretty much off the back of this, like, the strongest character in this game in history. It's very endearing, it's very heartfelt, a lot of nice and comedic. It doesn't sort of lean like a lot of these shows and a lot of anime I've watched this year. You get a lot of sexual undertones and a lot of just unnecessary smut thrown in, it feels like. A lot of fan servicey things. This one steers clear of that for pretty much the whole time. I can't really think of anything that was a bit like, oh. But it's just nice and full of heart. And there's only one season out at the moment, but I cannot wait for season 2. I think it might be coming out in 2022. Fingers crossed. The next one, I've just put these in alphabetical order, but this one probably hit me the biggest, and that's Food Wars. Multiple seasons available. There's some on Netflix, then the rest of it's on Crunchyroll. Depending on if you're looking for sub and dub, it's a whole thing. If you need some guidance, message me, because it was a journey I went on. But Food Wars, done by JC Staff, follows Yukihara Soma and Nakiri Erina as the two primary characters. And it's a show like, picture anime Iron Chef, I guess is the best way to describe this show. Yeah. But there's also heavy references to, I guess, foodgasms. Anyone that's eaten a good meal has probably had a foodgasm or two in their day. And it leans fully into that. Like, these people are making these magical meals that just blow people's minds apart and their clothes apart off them as well. It's all like suggested nudity. Like, you don't see anything. Like, there's always things like hiding nipples and groin areas and things like that. But it's so great. The tone of this show is so good. Like, I know it didn't hit for you. Like, I think you've watched an episode and you were just like, nah.
I wasn't vibing with it. But maybe I will give it another try, because a lot of people do hold it with high regard. So maybe I will try it again.
It's really good. It's really good. And outside of the comedic foodgasms, there is a good story here and some good plot threads and some big reveals and some big high stakes moments. But yeah, just picture Iron Chef anime for several seasons with a bit of heart and some comedic flair thrown in, and that's Food Wars, and it's so good. The next one, is it wrong to try and pick up girls in a dungeon, aka Dan Marshy? This one, I'm really sad about the name of this anime more than anything, I think, because that name implies that it's going to be this sleazy fan servicey, just,
romantic.
Yeah, and like there is some romance in it, but it's not like this person's just going into a dungeon to try and pick up women. Like it's focusing on this this lowly character named Belcronell in this fantasy world where he wants to become an adventurer and become a hero. And so it's about him working his way through these dungeons, and it's got those game mechanics where you level up and you get new skills and that type of thing. And it's just so heartfelt, just seeing this little guy who starts as nothing and he's very underpowered and he's fighting his way through everything to start to establish a bit of dominance and get a bit of rep, and then his little crew builds out, and he's got like each one of these adventurer groups that they form, they have to be aligned with a god. And these gods are living creatures, and he's aligned to, I guess, not the worst, but like the lesser of all the gods. Like Lady Hestia is her name, and I guess she's sort of like one of the B grade gods or the D grade gods. And just seeing their little group start to build up and ascend and get some clout amongst these adventurer groups, while this Belcronell, who's so pure of heart, this little fella, and he's got so much fight, just works his way through these dungeons and the stakes that escalate with that. We've got 3 seasons. We've also got 2 movies, and then we've got a standalone offshoot focusing on one other female group from Dan Marshy that you can check out. There's a 4th season coming, which I cannot wait for. But yeah, it's really good. Really, really good. The next one I'll jump on, Konosuba. It's another one of these isekai fan servicey ones where characters are in a fantasy realm, and this one guy, he dies, gets pulled into this world. I'm also wearing a Konosuba t-shirt. Got me full weave status here. But it's another. It does get a bit fan servicey as far as some of the sexual innuendos and imagery and the random focusing on boobs a lot, as a lot of these shows do, or like underpants and all this stuff, which gets a bit unnecessary. But this one's a bit more lighthearted, a bit more tongue-in-cheek, a little bit more slapsticky, and it's really good, really fun to watch. I've got a type, I've realized.
Yeah, it's sounding like it.
I've got a type, and the next one in that fantasy world, The Rising of the Shield Hero. I know Limo in the chat's a big fan of this one too. This is following that same archetype. People from our world has been transported into this fantasy world to save this place. But what happens with the character Naofumi, who's the lead of this, he gets done dirty right from the jump, where people frame him and pretty much say this guy tried to sexually assault this princess, he's a bad guy. So he's gone from this hero group to, you're a piece of shit, get out of here, everyone hates you, no one wants to deal with you. So it's not only him being a hero in air quotes, but dealing with society believing he's like a rapist, but also the fact that all these other heroes get given, like, there's a sword hero, there's a bow and arrow hero, and then he's got a shield. So, like, what can you do to attack with a shield? So he's a defensive type of dude. So he's not only trying to fight these creatures on this planet to save it, but also he can't fight because he's a defensive type of dude. So he's trying to work with that. And he's also then dealing with society being against him. So it's a bit more humanized as far as some of the themes. It's a bit more grounded. I know it's high fantasy and there's creatures and stuff, but it's a bit more grounded as far as the tone compared to the other ones. And it's good. It's divisive, but it's good. Miss Hart's like, oh, that's one's not for me.
No, it's like very consistent type of anime.
Yeah, yeah. But this next one, very unlike the others. I watched this just recently on Netflix called Violet Evergarden. So it sort of follows on from World War II, or like in this other world, I guess, a World War II. So it's sort of set in the 50s, and this girl, Violet Evergarden, was sort of like a weapon in the war for this group of people. The war's over now, and she doesn't know what to do. Like, she's lost her art, like she's been severely damaged in this war attack at the end. And so she ends up joining this group where they're writing like letters for people, like whether it be war heroes and survivors, or writing letters to the family members who have deceased. So she travels around as part of this group and writes stories and letters for people, as far as it could be. This person could be on his deathbed and writing a letter, or a nice will for his family, or someone writing a letter to their long lost love, and all this kind of stuff. So it's each episode sort of a bottle episode, but there's an overarching story with Violet Evergarden as she, I guess, tries to come back to humanity after being in the war and being very cold and hardened. But it's so touching and so cute and sweet and sad and emotional, seeing just these little episodes of not only these people's struggles and trying to convey their feelings to their loved ones, but also seeing her realize how this sort of weaves and relates to her life. And it's gorgeous. I think there's only 2 seasons on Netflix, but there's a couple of movies as well that they've done. It's been out a couple of years, but it's really nice, really touching stuff, and made me feel all the feels. But Miss Hart, listeners, I'm sorry if I put you to sleep or infuriated you all with my anime rants, but yeah, it's my favorite anime of 2021. Animates. Ooh, is that the podcast we're going to release? You and me, we're going to do an anime show?
Oh yeah, because of my extensive love for anime. I can talk about all the old ones I watched. I can talk about that.
We could do that. A lot of that stuff's evergreen content.
I don't know. Some people would beg to differ, or they'll be. Or, I don't know. I don't know if a lot of the anime I used to watch is held in any kind of high regard.
What one? Throw one out there.
I mean, there was an anime podcast that I got to be on, A+ Anime. Tomato.
That's true.
And I got to talk about one of my favorites, which was Excel Saga.
Sorry, I had water in my mouth. I didn't mind Excel Saga. I didn't mind. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of weird ones out there. So, but yeah, I just don't consume it as much. I like My Hero. My Hero is good.
My Hero is really good. As is Demon. Oh, I didn't even put Demon Slayer on the list. I'm sorry, Demon Slayer. You're on the list too, as far as my favorite anime. And season 2 is out now, but I'm still impatiently waiting for those episodes of dub. And Limo says he'll do an anime show with me. Let's talk.
Go.
Let's talk. Animates. I like that. Is that already a podcast? Maybe.
I wouldn't know. I'm not
Need to reach out to our fellow weebs and see. But Miss Hart, Animates is a great name. We need to bookmark and copyright that ASAP. But before we do, let's maybe talk about the favorite things we've played. Now, we've got a nice bookend here. We started with the hungry, we're ending with the gamers. So, Miss Hart, what is some of the stuff that you wanted to mention as far as favorite games you've played in 2021 for the first time?
I am going to scream it from the mountaintops. Psychonauts 2 is like my game of the year. It's my favorite game. It's a game that has had such an impact on me that I haven't experienced in a long time with video games. So I am going to keep telling people to play Psychonauts 2. Got absolutely, snubbed in the Game Awards. So yeah, everyone out there, when you have the chance to play Psychonauts 2, definitely give it a go. It's a great game, great story, great art style, great everything, and all, like, it's perfectly well-rounded to me. So I just think it's definitely, even if you don't think it's your style of game, because I definitely thought it wasn't my type of game, and look at me. So definitely try it out. Yeah, look at me.
Look at me.
Look at me. My second one is I went from a person that never played a Halo. That is thanks to a guy in my 9th grade ancient history class who raved about Halo and said Halo is the greatest game of all time and no other game could compare. And it really wasn't up for discussion. So I went, you know what? F Halo. And I hadn't played Halo for like the longest time and didn't touch it. I did buy a Master Chief Collection, but we all remember how nasty that release went. So then I still hadn't played any Halo. And then thankfully with the Halo multiplayer that came out, I think I've almost played it every single day since it's been out. I love it. It is so great. I've mentioned before, it reminds me of like Unreal Tournament when I used to play Unreal Tournament way back when. It has the same kind of fast-paced vibe to it, same kind of like gameplay, gun handling, and just modes as well. So I've absolutely loved Halo multiplayer.
Have you dropped any cash on Halo yet? Have you bought any skins?
I haven't even bought the Battle Pass. I haven't even bought the Battle Pass.
Proud of you. I thought you might have, because you have been playing this game hard out.
I really have. And I almost bought, they had the pineapple grenades, but I didn't. I'm actually more sad that I missed that than having self-control and not buying it. So, but yeah, loving Halo. I will play the story when they release co-op, because I think I'd love to play it co-op instead of solo.
Yeah, you got a 5-ish month wait on that one, sadly.
It's fine. Loving multiplayer plus Destiny 2, which expansion is going to be coming out, so that's going to take up some time. Next one, Hades. Everyone raved about this game, and it's kind of the game style to me. I just didn't understand. I'm like, how could a game with this kind of game style be so popular? How could everyone like it? How can it be so amazing? And then I played it and I went, oh, I get it. This is a great game. It's fun. Once again, fast paced, no BS, no downtime. Lovely story, great character design, voice acting as well, and music. It was great. Totally understand why everyone loved playing Hades. It's a great game. Haven't finished it. Probably won't. I'm not that good at it. But it was great. I enjoy. I'm crap at it, but I still enjoyed my time. So that's the true markings of a great game.
I think that's a fair way to describe those types of games too. Like you can say it's one of the best games you've played, even if you haven't finished it, just based off the temperate check and the gut check, right? Where if you loved it, but maybe it got a bit tough and you need to put it down for a while, it doesn't mean it's not a good game. Doesn't mean you can't grade it accordingly. Yeah,
just because your shit doesn't mean the game's shit. So yeah, good experience with that one. Strangeland was a nice little surprise indie that kind of came up. Point and click adventure. Great little story, maybe even if it was a little predictable at some times, but wonderful art design, story and everything. Then Timberborn, which was my city builder with beavers. It sounds stupid, but it was actually a lot of fun to play. Then we also had Unpacking.
The Indie Darling of the Year, as awarded by the 8-Bit Nation.
Exactly right. And for me, it was just a really perfect chill game, because like things had been getting a bit stressful with at that point in time, especially with like also assignments and everything. So it was really nice to have a game to like relax to chill to, and that was like the perfect game for me, especially with getting everything all perfect and situated. So that was a fun one. Forza Horizon. But like, talk about taking me out of my comfort zone and proving me wrong on my like stickler ways. As a person that hated racing car driving games, Forza Horizon like knocked me off my feet. I absolutely love that game. Obviously it doesn't fit the same kind of criteria as most driving games. It was a bit more open, a bit more, open world, a bit more
arcadey,
linear. Yeah, less linear kind of thing. It was great. I absolutely adored my experience. I loved buying all my shitty looking cars and just driving them around.
Did you see
the Dune theme?
Did you see it just got awarded IGN's Game of the Year?
I didn't actually. It's so nice to see that it's actually getting that acknowledgement. I definitely think it actually probably met a good criteria to actually fit in that space, but it seems like maybe because of what type of game it was, maybe it wasn't acknowledged as much as being a Game of the Year contender. But yeah,
I think it deserves the praise. Like
I think
you nailed it. Like
you got me to play it and like it.
Yeah, if Miss Hart gives it the rubber stamp, then you got to stand up and take notice. Like it's so fun, and I'm happy that you finally got around to experiencing one of these, not only Forza games, but the Horizon subsect of it, because it is a bit more arcadey, a bit more fun, a bit more co-op oriented, where you can just join a convoy and just start running roughshod around Mexico and doing crazy jumps and crazy races and just having a crazy old time in an assortment of very unique vehicles.
Yeah, it was lots of fun. I can't believe I actually now enjoy a car game.
Yeah.
Hell froze over. And the last one is Raji, an ancient epic, a little indie platform adventure game. We saw it way back when. It was like maybe an indie event, or maybe it was like an Xbox indie event, if I remember correctly. And the style and the storytelling really caught my attention. And then obviously it got released on Game Pass. So then, there was no loss in giving this game a try. And I really enjoyed it. The story is lovely and the gameplay is relatively accessible. And the stage design is just beautiful. So that was another one that kind of like surprised me. So those are my favorite games of the year. Yeah,
I'm in agreement with a lot of those. Like Psychonauts 2 by Double Fine is a must play for 2021. You need to get your hands on it, listeners. It is so great and very unlike a lot of the games that came out from a tonal perspective. It might be a platformer with some quirky characters, but like some of the depths and just the emotion that is conveyed and the real themes that is showcased throughout this game continuously is really, really, really well done. Like the storytelling team there at Double Fine knocked it out of the park. Halo, yeah, the multiplayer, phenomenal. Absolutely adored it. The campaign, awesome as well. I am not patient enough to wait until next year to play it co-op. I've slapped through that in single player and loved this new direction as far as this open world sandbox that they're working with in this Halo world now, making it a little bit more fun and a little bit more flexible as far as what do you want to do, where do you want to go? Just point your Master Chief in that direction and go explore, which is awesome. Some other indies I wanted to shout out: Death's Door by Acid Nerve and published by Devolver. Really, really great. On a lot of people's Game of the Year award listings and has won a lot of awards. Really, really like the art style. We do have a Death's Door spoiler cast on the Hunger Gamers RSS feed that you can check out for further detail on that. Also wanted to shout out Kena, Bridge of Spirits.
Oh, yeah, Kena, yeah.
Yeah, by Ember Labs and then published by Sony. Little indie gem by a small team, debut game, gorgeous, challenging at times, but fun and rewarding. And I was just smiling throughout this game, just with the cute characters and then the challenging little bosses. Yeah, the little rots and then the customization of your little rots. Like, it's so good, and I'm very excited to see what Ember Labs has in store for the future. I wasn't sure if I put this next one in indies or AAA. And this is Returnal by Housemarque, who are an indie studio but have since now been acquired by Sony. So it sort of sits in the middle. It straddles both lines. But really, really great. Like, similar to what you said with Hades, like, it's difficult and it's very challenging. Like, that sort of roguelite style of game is a punish. And I don't usually play a lot of those styles, but Returnal, just with this world, like this science fiction HR Giga alien type of homage with the creatures and the aesthetic and the vibe, that sort of got that 80s vibe to it as well, with just the colors and the animation. It was so good. Like, it was tough, but I loved it, and it's pretty much my game of the year, I'd say, as far as things I've experienced. I loved it, and it's very unlike me to jump into this type of genre and take it out. Like, I'm usually a big narrative, big open world RPG type of guy.
Yeah.
Trigger Witch is another one I wanted to shout out, done by our friends at Rainbite. Really enjoyed that. Twin stick shooter, bullet hell, cuteness, overload with an absolute bucket load of violence. And really, really fun. As far as AAAs, I also wanted to give a bit of love to Deathloop. Obviously, it is the 8-Bit Nation's Game of the Year for the 2021 biddies, done by Arcane and Bethesda. One of the quotes that we sort of read in the biddies, where it was like a thinking person shooter. I agree, because there's abilities and ways to go about things, and you need to perfect how you're going to kill all these people in your 24-hour loop. You've got to set your scheduling and work out, okay, these people are going to be over there, so I can get them in the morning, then the noon and the afternoon. Like, you got a very finite period of time to break the loop. And really cool, really slick game. Voice acting was awesome. The art style was great. The abilities and the weapons, all of those things. We do have a Deathloop spoiler cast you can check out as well on this feed, so give that a peek when you can. Another game that I want to mention we also have a spoiler cast on is Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart by Insomniac, and then obviously Sony exclusive. One of the best platformers I've played in a good long time. And
It was good.
It was just fun, and it had some heart, and it was challenging at times, but challenging, not too challenging to sort of break the enjoyment. Like, it made you think, but you could still just cruise around and enjoy this world and just soak in the gorgeousness of this universe or universes. And obviously we saw Rivet co-win the Character of the Year award in the biddies. Right. So she was very well received, voiced by Jennifer Hale. And the last game I wanted to touch on as far as favorite things we've played, and that's Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
This game, I had very, very, very low expectations of this game when it was announced and showcased. I thought it was going to be an absolute turd of a game, and my God, could I be more further from the truth with that statement. This is one of the best games of the year. Like, it's a coin toss for me as far as game of the year. Like, there's Returnal, there's Deathloop, and then there's Guardians. For me is probably my 3. And depending on how I'm feeling at the minute, it could change slightly. But Guardians was so good. One of the best Marvel stories told on a screen in years. The characters were great. They really, really canvassed and sort of developed this relationship with the Guardians and filling out their backstory about how they came to be. And you know, they're like a broken family. Like, they're all hurting and they're all damaged, but they've all come together to find themselves again, and sort of seeing how that happened. And then obviously the overarching story that plays out with this game is so good. It's the best Marvel game I've played since Spider-Man. Like, it's one of the best Marvel games of all time. It's not a high bar. There's a lot of dud out there, but this one deserves your time and your respect and your money. If you're looking for some games to play over the holiday season, that list that Ali and I have just sort of rattled off, there's so many very unique experiences between that indie and AAA route that you cannot go wrong. Like, there's something for everybody, and we've just touched on like 5% of the games that have released this year that are probably worth your time. So it's been a good year for Gaming Miss Hart. Plenty of things to play and plenty of things we've loved. Yeah.
Absolutely spoiled for games. Very lucky.
Very, very lucky. And that brings us to the end of the topics, I guess you could say, for episode 268, our favourite things of 2021. Miss Hart, anything else you want to say or want to riff about before we formally close up the Hungry Studio for the rest of the year?
Yeah, I guess like as we head into the new year, we kind of like think about our New Year's resolutions. And I mean, gotta be honest, like there's quite a few things on this list that I obviously haven't experienced, so anime being one of them. So I'm wondering if maybe something from this list of yours I should probably give a watch in the new year and give it a try. Maybe I will watch one of these animes.
Hell yeah. We can talk and work out which one is going to be the one for you, Miss Hart. There's plenty out there. And maybe I can do the same. Maybe I can peek through this list of yours and grab one of these TV shows or games like Timberborn. Could be something up my alley, potentially. So maybe I can give that a go. Or Strangeland. I remember you gushing about that game in an earlier THG episode this year. Very, very unique point and clicker that thinks it could be my speed. And you said it was a bit of a shorter one too.
Yeah, it didn't take me long to play it. It was a few hours.
Okay. But 8-Bit Nation, this brings us to the official end of THG for 2021. As we've sort of mentioned at the start of the episode, we'll be back in January sometime. We haven't got a fixed date yet, but we're just sort of working on some things behind the scenes as far as plans for 2022, content that's coming out, content that might not be returning, best platforms to get us on. We're trying to make it a bit more listener facing or a bit more nation facing, I guess you could say. We want to be a bit more present, want to be more visual, so we'll try and do more video or stuff like this, whether it be on streams or we do more stuff on social media where you can see our mugs as well as the rest of the crew. Just
If you want to.
If you want to. If you don't, that's fine too. Our faces aren't for everybody, but our content certainly is. Except for not for kids for some of the things we talk about, that's for sure.
Sorry, Dane.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry, little Bo and the rest of your beautiful kids. But that brings us to the end of THG for 2021. Miss Hart, has been an absolute pleasure to be riding shotgun here with you for another year. We're moving into the 7th season of The Hungry Gamers.
Whoa.
And
Crazy.
in very fitting Hungry Gamer fashion, our first episode for 2022 will be episode 269.
Nice.
So maybe we can have some fun with that somehow. But 8-Bit Nation, thanks for your continued support. Thanks for your interactions. Thanks for your love. Thanks for your subscriptions, your shares, your positive words, your constructive criticism and feedback. We love it all. We continue to take it all on board and try and grow this show and grow this platform with yourselves in mind, because without you guys and gals out there, we'd just be a couple of people shouting into the ether on microphones. So we appreciate every single one of you all. Hopefully you stay safe and happy this holiday season. We wish you nothing but the best. But until next time, 8-Bit Nation, much love.
And stay hungry.
All right, so I've officially hit stop on the recording. The mics are still hot, though.
Yes.
And I saw my mum come in to throw some shade about all my nicknames when I was growing up. Yep, Peter, even though she called him Peter Benkman, I'm going to say that's a typo there, Mama Loz. But Spike White was a thing for a few months there. Presto was a name I could not escape for decades, Miss Hart. Decades. But thankfully it's finally gone. And then, Bren Van Dam, my wrestling name. Whitey, obviously with the surname. But Miss Hart, what about you? Did you have any funky nicknames when you were a kiddo?
No, I was just Allie, and then for some reason everyone decided to call me Alley Cat.
Alley Cat?
I did not like that. Didn't like that very much. And then within a certain side of my my family, I was actually known as Bill.
As Bill?
Yeah, Silly Billy.
Oh, okay. I was curious to know the backstory there.
Then that really sweet part about it kind of just disappeared, and then everyone was calling me Bill.
Just Bill. God, I'm not going to bring that back out of fear of you punching me somehow, but Bill.
Prefer Bill over
Alley Cat.
Alley Cat, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. People
Plus,
and
it's funny
nicknames.
just seeing like a girl and that's Bill.
Yeah. Well, I know a Belinda in the games industry, and she refers to herself as Bill actually, but like not Bell, but Bill.
I was gonna say Bell makes sense. You're not. Oh.
Yeah, each their own. Your name is your name. You do with it as you please, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. So some names you get to choose, some names you don't.
If you could change your name to anything, what would it be?
Oh, don't give me this. I don't know. I've been like Allie for so long. The only other thing was, how when you find out what your name was going to be from your parents,
yep.
like, oh, you could have been this or this. I would have been Bethany.
Oh, yeah.
So I could have been Beth. And for some reason, I feel like that also works for me. So
Yeah, I could see you as a Beth.
I could see me as a Beth. So
Yep.
that's where I would have gone down
Yeah.
that route.
Yeah, see, Limo says it's still not hard for him to call me Presto, and that's fine. I don't mind. I don't mind. It's just funny, with nicknames, you know how some people fully commit to the nickname when they introduce themselves? It's like they don't say, hey, my name's John. It's, hey, my name's Smithy, or whatever. It's like, no, it's not. Your name's John. I've never been one to say, all through those years where I'm like, hey, my name's Presto. It was always like, hey, I'm Brendan, but then somehow get around and the Presto thing had come up anyway. And then people thought my name was Brendan Preston for a while, or Preston White. I'm like, no, that's not the case. That is not the case. Oh, okay. So that's why I've been trying to work out occasionally why the mouse was popping up over the screen, and it's just because it's following where it is in relation to the monitor. So like, yes, learning all the streaming things today, Miss Hart.
I'm also seeing that how mulled out my camera is, so I apologize for that. But I mean, I live in a pit of darkness, so.
Ah. You excited for Christmas though?
Yes, I am. Like, just the downtime and being able to like relax and such. It should be good. Plus the eating, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to up the gym intake, so to cancel it out because that's how health works, right?
Yeah, very much so. I'm excited because the like Mum and Darren are coming down here, and we've just, instead of like for years and years we'd always do the big Christmas cook up ourselves, but it just becomes a bit of a pain. The time and
Someone
the
has to
money.
clean.
Yeah. So what we've done, we did last year and we're doing it this year again, is we're just like, we've booked in for like a 3-hour lunch menu where it's like bottomless drinks, and so it's all you can drink for 3 hours and all you can eat. And we're doing it at this place on the water here in Melbourne at the Arbory. So I'm very excited for that because the food there is fantastic, and same with the drinks. So it's going to be good because then you can just, you roll out maybe a bit tipsy and very full, and you go, right, don't care anymore. That's someone else's problem.
It's for the cleaning factor, yeah. Like, and then also like, there's always some person, usually mums, but I don't want to stereotype that. That's running around. There's always someone that's running around doing everything, and then they don't get to experience it. Some people are just natural hosts, but it's kind of sad seeing someone just like being more stressed out than everyone else that's just kind of chilling and drinking. So that's also a good idea for them.
That's the tough part with like a lot of like any social gathering that you throw at a house or something. There's always someone that's got to be a bit more straight-laced, like for the most part, because they don't want not only their house to be destroyed, but also they want the vibe to keep going and the positive energy, so they can't have as many drinks for the most part as the others, or can't get a little rowdy. So yeah, I feel for the host. So just looking forward to letting the hair down next week. I can't believe Christmas is in a week.
Someone said that, they're like, oh, Christmas is next week, and I was like, bullshit. And nope.
Get fucked. 7 days. Like today will be Christmas in a week's time. I'll be eating that lunch in a week's time.
And then you're like, okay, Christmas is over. Like now we just have to wait for New Year's. But New Year's is just like that. It's just like instantly. And then the year is over, and then you kind of wonder what you did with it.
I still don't even know what to do for like what I'm doing for New Year's. And then it's also like, because of all this COVID stuff, like is this thing going to pop off again? So then is New Year's going to be sort of parked for people or places? So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, well, we're having issues here now. We're back to bringing back some rules because of issues.
Yeah,
it doesn't help that it's winter too and it's getting cold.
I saw some of the numbers, like the daily numbers now in America is pretty scary.
I feel like it never got better. Maybe it declined a little bit, but it never got better.
I think at least here in AU as well, the news just stopped getting reported so much. Like they didn't do the daily number updates. Like it was still happening, but they're like, oh, we need some positive spin. Let's just not talk about it for a week.
That's exactly like what is happening here. Like it would get mentioned, but it wouldn't be reported as heavily. So, yeah.
Goddamn media. Can people confirm as well in the chat, was the stream quality okay? Like was the audio and the video consistent, or were we dropping any frames? I looked like it was all good on my end, but like off my computer I was running it on the Wi-Fi, so I was wondering if there was a few little packet drops here or there. It looked like it was okay through OBS the entire time though.
Yeah, I mean I didn't get to see it, but I'm sure it was fine. I'm sure it was good. But yeah, that's our first like live stream.
Yeah, I think it was fun. I think it worked.
Yeah, it could have been worse. Yeah. No, it did well.
Yeah. No, I think the concept of bookending it with the forum being open, and then in between that we just do the usual THG is a good way. Is YouTube the platform for it? I don't know. Maybe not.
Try Twitch next
Maybe we
time.
try Twitch next time, just to see. But yeah, I think that's that. What do you think, Miss Hart? It's getting close to dinner time for you and lunchtime for me.
Yeah, it's time for the hungry gamers to eat.
Yes. I've got leftover pizza in the fridge.
I've got a Costco pizza in the freezer.
Oh, winning both sides of the fence here. But yeah, appreciate everybody for stopping on by. I know it's a
Thanks,
busy
guys.
time. It's a crazy time. So yeah, as mentioned on the potty, just stay safe out there. Keep your loved ones close. Enjoy the holidays in whatever capacity that you celebrate or don't celebrate. Just enjoy this time off to rest and reset and get ready for 2022 because yeah, it's a bit tough out there at the moment still with this COVID shit. So just be smart, just be safe, and eat and be merry.
Damn right. Yeah, just be safe, be smart, enjoy time together with loved ones, and yeah, look after yourself.
Yeah. Well, we'll see you in 2022 in an audio or video based capacity, but we'll still be around on them socials. So yeah, peek us on there if you want. But otherwise, yeah, until next time, much love.